This is Matt Carlson from WSRU-TV. Tonight we're here in the Spots Auditorium to discuss the topic of queerphobia. Tonight the lecture is going to discuss homophobia, heteronormativity, and straight privilege.
But this started when a student at the beginning of the semester said, homophobia, I think we're over that. And I'd love to believe that we are, but I don't think we are.
Since 2013, according to the National Center for Transgender Equality, nearly 30 transgender women, most of them Black, Latino, have been slain with fists, knives, guns, and hate.
What is privilege and what are its forms?
They're usually unearned rights or unearned benefits that folks have, and oftentimes privilege is invisible to those people that actually have privilege. It can take many forms, but one that we usually start with is, of course, white privilege. Being in a culture of majority white people, there is privilege that we have that other members of the community who might be people of color do not have, just by nature of the difference of color of our skin.
In light of the recent presidential election, how do you see LGBTQ rights being affected?
I think they're going to be affected in a number of ways. One is that Donald Trump has said he's going to repeal most aspects of the Affordable Care Act, with a couple of exceptions. But what that means for trans individuals is that mental health resources will be diminished or cut. Hormone therapy will not be paid for anymore, and surgeries that are connected to transitioning will no longer be paid for. So if you're a trans individual in this country, you have just lost access to all sorts of rights. The other is, though Mike Pence has not recently talked about conversion therapy, our new vice president said in a speech in 2000 that he feels that homosexuality is unnatural and it's a sin, and he strongly recommended funding for conversion therapy. Donald Trump wants to undo the Supreme Court Justice Act of 2015 that guaranteed federally a right to same-sex marriage. And what that means in a state like Ohio or Pennsylvania or North Dakota is that if you are an LGBTQ plus person and you want to marry the person you love, there's a very good chance in 4 years that that right will be repealed.
Yeah, I said if I were a lesbian, I have to tell you, right now I would feel traumatized and I would feel very scared.
What overall message would you like to get across to the students after tonight?
I think the biggest message is that queerphobia is a real thing, that heteronormativity is still a problem, that if you are straight, you are privileged. We need to recognize that privilege. And I think that we need to be allies if we're straight. We need to continue, especially now, reminding ourselves and our campus community that we need to be allies, we need to be advocates, we need to be active, and we need to recognize that discrimination is still thriving.
I would like students to recognize that queerphobia still exists. A lot of times I get from people, well, it's 2016, like there's no big deal anymore. People are much more accepting of the LGBT community than they had been. We've got a lot of rights. I mean, we've got marriage equality after all. You know, that seems to be the thing that people are really, they hang their hat on that, like as if that's the end all and be all of what the LGBT community needs. And that couldn't be, I'm sure it's a step, but it's certainly not. When you look at Pennsylvania and you see that I could be fired tomorrow just because I'm part of the LGBT population, we've got a lot of work to do. So just to continue to be vigilant about these issues and keep fighting the fight.
If the question of this is queerphobia still a thing, queerphobia ruined my relationship with my mom. My answer is yes, it is.
This has been Matt Carlson from WSRU-TV. Thanks for watching.